Pickleball Channel's production of the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships powered by Margaritaville, where senior men stole the show on Wednesday, with so much more to come. Thursday at the Open belongs to senior ladies, where McGregor and Johnson were among hundreds looking to prove their best is yet to come. So throw your hands in the air and make sure that paddle is on point. Championships are at stake. History to be made. Welcome to Day 5 at the Open. It's another absolutely gorgeous day at the pickleball capital of the world, Naples, Florida. We are close to the beach at East Naples Community Park, where the world's largest pickleball party starting to round the corner. Day 5 at the U.S. Open. Welcome to our booth right next to Zing Zang Championship Court. Drew Felios alongside Melissa McCurley from pickleballtournaments.com and Chad Edwards from Peak Performance. Melissa, senior time, the men yesterday were absolutely unbelievable.
They were. Dave Weinbach getting his second men's doubles senior championship here at Zing Zang Championship Court. It was just an outstanding day.
And the overall quality of play, Chad, that is what continues to amaze.
Yeah, I mean, the senior pro men just brought everything to the table yesterday. We had lobs, we had the slow game, we had the fast exchanges, and they're elevating their game just like everybody else.
So before we get ready for the ladies, let's relive some of those great moments from a memorable Wednesday. DeRisi and Crandall, tremendous, taking on Witskin and Moore. Moore is a legend here time and again, but Crandall and DeRisi just had an incredible partnership.
Yeah, they really did, and they had great energy, great chemistry, and they showed real discipline here when playing these two hard hitters.
Jose DeRisi was all over it, embracing Crandall, 11-6, 11-3 to take the bronze medal. Now for the gold medal, Dave Weinbach, Dane Gingrich on top of their game. Sperling and Mirari, Chad, they came in red hot as well.
Yeah, they came in on fire, and I actually spoke to John Sperling earlier today and asked him, hey, what was going on with the gold yesterday? He's like, we threw everything out there. We just couldn't find a rhythm. We couldn't find a situation where we could take them off their game, and Weinbach and Gingrich just put it to them and never let their foot off the throttle.
11-1, 11-2, impressively, and a memorable post-match interview as well. Take a look at the recap of all the great moments throughout the week. Melissa, what stands out to you? Well,
Catherine Parenteau getting her first gold medal in women's singles, that really stands out for me.
Yeah, and I would say, with Jansen and Sperling with the pro mixed split age, like Melissa said, this is one of the favorite events here, and it continues. The senior pros continue to step up on the stage.
So senior ladies will own this Thursday at the Open. When we return, the world's largest pickleball party, the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, is next.
My hard seltzering wasn't always secure. I don't like tall, slim cans in my hand. That's not me anymore.
If you're sick of basic seltzers with artificial aftertaste, join a growing community that's taking back control of their seltzering.
Fruit Smash changed my life. Thank you, Fruit Smash.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast. By Skechers. Experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. By Margaritaville Hotels and Resorts. Check in and chill out at MargaritavilleResorts.com. And by Pickleball Central, the Pickleball Superstore.
City of Naples buzzing once again for this great event in the world of pickleball, the U.S. Open. Mother Nature continuing to bless us throughout the week as women's senior pro doubles get set to steal the show. Dawson and McGregor, Mitten and Atkins on deck as we begin our coverage here on day 5. Cammie McGregor went from the world of tennis to the world of pickleball, did it seamlessly, and has become one of the elite players in the game. Her, along with her partner, Jennifer Dawson, one of the most decorated players there is, period. 2-time defending champions.
Yeah, and she's also a Triple Crown winner here at the U.S. Open. So she's been #1 in USTA tennis. So she does, goes between both games very well. So they have some very formidable opponents here today as well.
So without a doubt, they are the team to beat. Mary Helen Atkins going to have her hands full, but she's also having more and more success. A dual collegiate athlete, great all-around athlete she is. Sarah Mitten, meanwhile, former tennis player, Mississippi State, once qualified at Wimbledon, an all-SEC performer, originally from England. This team's got the tools to do it, but this U.S. Open stage, this belongs to McGregor and Dawson. Going to be interesting to see kind of what gives here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Mary Helen Atkins and Sarah Mitten handle being on this big stage. As you said, McGregor and Dawson are no strangers to it, but these two have a great partnership, and they are very, very strong competitors.
Underway from Naples.
Side down.
So Atkins, bottom of your screen, in the black. Mitten in the all-white as McGregor sets to serve.
0-0-1.
Mentioned the conditions today, 84 degrees, Chad. Yesterday we had gusts of wind. Right now things very, very settled.
0-0-2.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the flags outside of championship court start to pick up their movement a little bit. For right now, we definitely don't have the wind that we did yesterday swirling in here. But I would say with these temperatures, to keep it low, the wind usually picks up.
0-0-1.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, it's an excellent misdirect by McGregor. Again, we saw it yesterday with the men's senior pro. Here with the women's senior pro and McGregor with just holding that paddle out there and changing direction as she saw Sarah Mitten come to the middle of the court.
There's McGregor
Side
again, tagging Mitten that time is Cammie McGregor. She won senior pro doubles last year, also won the senior pro split age as well.
Yeah, and then as I'm looking back here, they've won this pair, and Dawson and McGregor have won this event 3 times, so 3 times in a row.
So 3-time defending champion. I know that COVID year and the break kind of throws us off still, but you go back in the history books, you realize how much success they have had.
Yeah. And I've actually played against them, well, if you call it playing. I mean, I was off the court pretty soon.
What does Jen Dawson do that is so effective on the court, though?
1-1-2.
Well, we talked about yesterday, strengths, whether it's pinpoint accuracy, control, fast hands, but both Dawson and McGregor coming from that tennis background. They're able to move the ball around, but they've got the power to really keep their opponents uneasy. We saw a little bit of it there. Jen moves really, really well. Moving to her right, taking that ball out there, quick roll up into the body, and then Cami slid over into the middle and put that ball back into the body of Sarah Minto.
You have 1 point.
Of course, we all know Steve Dawson, too, how fundamentally sound he is.
2-0-2.
Yeah, and we've seen Steve Dawson on this stage many times as well.
Oh, how about that shot?
Yeah, they certainly weren't expecting that. I mean, you don't see that too often. Someone jumps in with the backhand there and gets a put away.
0-2-1. Point.
So first point here for Minton and Atkins.
Atkins did an excellent job right there of a quality third shot drop coming in behind it, and then went back behind Dawson.
Point.
Sarah Minton from where I live, my hometown of Hilton Head, South Carolina, so I've had the opportunity to play with her on the court, and I tell you, she is certainly one of the top ladies in the country playing this sport. She pretty much just stays east, though, doesn't travel west.
See Minton excited as they enjoy an early lead here.
I think that was a case of
3-2-1.
Jennifer Dawson trying to make up for a couple of mistakes there. Went a little big, a little too much power.
Up against the net. Well played, though.
Very well played, and you're not going to see Mary Helen Atkins making too many unforced errors like that. That's one of the things that makes her so great. She is very, very consistent.
Nice backhand there from Dawson. Chad, you were amazed just walking around this complex today and just seeing the quality of play, and at times just as good as the men, even better.
Oh, this morning while I was walking around around the courts here at the U.S. Open and watching some other clients play, you can tell when there's power just from the sound coming off of the paddle. And a couple of times I turned around to see where it was coming from, and the senior pro women, and we're already seeing it here, Dawson and McGregor and Minton have a much leaning a little bit more toward that power side of it. They'll speed a lot of balls up and
2-3-2.
Whereas Atkins has a little bit more of a control game and will move it around. So she's definitely one to push it, and then you've got Minton there for the aggression. But
Point.
on the Dawson McGregor side, and we saw it there again, they're going to speed a lot of balls up. That's their game plan. That's their strength.
Point.
Again, a ball sitting up. McGregor doing an excellent job of staying really compact, really composed, coming into the body of Minton. And again, it's a very, very difficult position when you're hitting that paddle side hip to the armpit. We like to call it at times getting T-Rex, because you lose your arm there when you get jammed.
Both teams really warming up.
That point had everything right there. We had lobs from either side.
Point.
We had the slow down, the reset, bring back into it, and then Atkins right at the end there, just a little flick, a little too much flick of the wrist and dumped it into the net. But if that's what a preview of what we're going to see today, it's going to be a fun day.
Little long that time for Minto.
6-3-2.
Oh, good job by McGregor tracking down that lob. And that one right down the middle.
Point.
Yeah, that's tough. A little miscommunication there. I know Minto usually likes to take that with her backhand, but
Timeout. Receiving team
I have to
7-3-2.
defer to the
1
forehand.
minute.
I'll have to work that out.
On the court, timeout, 7-3 as we head to our first break.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. By Zing Zang, America's favorite Bloody Mary mix. By Franklin X40, the official ball of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. And by the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Save the date, April 15th to 22nd, 2023.
Crowd loves their pickleball here in Naples. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, Chad Edwards, thrilled you are here. Pickleball Channel,
15 seconds.
the home of this Minto
Receiving
U.S.
team,
Open
1 timeout
Pickleball
remaining.
Championship.
Serving team, 2 timeouts
Tomorrow,
remaining.
the pros take center stage. Saturday night, we're live on CBS Sports Network, so it just gets better and better here throughout the week.
Yeah, and you can always feel
Timing,
the build-up
7,
throughout
3,
the
2.
park going into the championship weekend.
7-3, Dawson and McGregor looking to add to that lead here, and an Ernie from Cammie is successful.
Point.
And that was a very good move by McGregor. She recognized that Dawson's cross-court ball was going to go behind Minto, and she waited for Sarah's head to drop and then made that jump across the corner of the kitchen. And already we're seeing more third shot drives
8-3-2.
today than I think we saw all day yesterday with the men's senior pro. And that third shot drive is used to set up that easier fifth shot. And Dawson and McGregor are doing an excellent job of the transition there after the drive, coming forward, putting the pressure on Atkins and Minto and forcing that ball to pop up. And like we saw right there, a little bit unfortunate to get it off the net, but Dawson was ready to put that ball away as it popped up.
Point.
Another point.
Yeah, and anything that you get up on Dawson, it's going to be hard to get that back, and you certainly want to keep it out of the wheelhouse of her backhand, and she can, and you have to really get it low for it not to be in her
10,
wheelhouse.
3,
Yeah,
2.
she can take some balls from her toes and whip that up, especially with the two-handed backhand. And that's one advantage of that two-hander is that you can add a lot more spin.
Very nice. And I was
Side out.
taking a look at Atkins and Minto the last time that they partnered together back in September. They played in the PPA Orlando Cup. They won silver there, only losing to Leslie Bernard and Kim Kessner. Some of the top pro ladies for seniors as well in the game.
So this is a team that feels like they can certainly pull off an upset here. Dawson and McGregor, though, from the same town, Carlsbad, California. When you're from the same town and you get to play with each other just a little bit more, it certainly helps, Melissa.
It does. And Mary Helen Atkins just recently moved from North Carolina to Arizona. So the opportunity for Minto and Atkins to practice just, not as much as it was before.
Had fun talking about geographics of pickleball. What market
3, 10,
perhaps
1.
is the best yesterday? And I know that debate kind of carried over a little bit on social media.
Yes, pickleball is just growing so much. It's really hard to say if there's just one place anymore.
Speed things up a little bit.
Serve.
There's Dawson again.
It's somewhat potentially a tell that Dawson's about ready to is going to speed that ball up because she dinks with a backhanded, one-handed backhand, and then when she puts that second hand on the paddle, she's usually going to speed that ball up. But the hard part is with that two-hander, she can go into the body, she can snap it cross court. So even though you recognize that she's going to hit it hard, it's very, very difficult to read which direction it's going to go.
All right, game point coming up here for Dawson and McGregor, leading 10-3. First televised match of the day here at the Open, day 5. And that looked like maybe was a little long, but looks like it's going to be called in. Second serve here.
Yeah, I think Dawson and McGregor are still trying to figure out why they hit paddles there on the ball in the middle and stop watching the ball as it went past them. That was close to the sideline, the baseline, sorry.
3-10-1.
Oh. Atkins covering a lot of ground right now. Just a bit out.
Second serve.
Minton disguised that offensive lob very well, and she caught McGregor moving back to the middle of the court. And when you get a little bit of an extension or a ball that you can get extended on the forehand side, that cross-court roll lob is very effective. You're hitting to the largest part of the court with that angle.
Side out.
Another chance here to end game 1 for Dawson and McGregor.
10-3-1. Point.
Just incredibly efficient through the first game. Dawson and McGregor take it.
Yeah, and that ball kind of sailed long. We saw that several times, Chad. So here's the point again. And that just went long. So they may have to make an adjustment for the win. I guess we'll see in game 2.
Yeah, definitely. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit.
First game in the books. Game 2 coming up next from Naples.
Match point. It's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
Back here with game number 2 on Pickleball Channel. And a foot fault going to be called here to start on Mary Helen Atkins after Dawson and McGregor take game number 1.
Called by referee Derek Prince.
Talked a lot about the referees, Melissa. There's so many of them in this great game, but You have to be exceptional to get a spot here on championship court, I imagine, huh?
You definitely do, and they work hard. There's a pretty stringent certification program and evaluation program that they go through, and then renewal of that certification program over time, and they go all around the country. Really pretty much a hobby for them, just really elevating the game of pickleball for all of us.
0-2-1.
Nicely done once again by Cammie McGregor.
0-2-2.
Yeah, McGregor opened the hips and got back really quickly on that potential lob and was able to take that out of the air for the nice overhead.
Side out.
Looks like Atkins just rushed through that one a little bit. Feet didn't completely stop when she went to hit the ball.
That was a nice spot. You know, we talked a bit about spots yesterday.
Yeah, that's the spot to go there. The left foot for a right-hander is probably the hardest ball to get back. And there was a little bit of miscommunication there from Dawson and McGregor. McGregor does like to take that backhand through the middle because Jen gives herself a little bit more room to speed the ball up.
Couple lobs back to back, setting up McGregor as she puts it away.
And McGregor chose an excellent ball to hit with that lob. The offensive lob can be hit off of the bounce or out of the air. You just have to make sure that you have separation away from the body to be able to elevate that ball and push through it.
Oh, nice poach.
Wow, as Cammie, look at Jennifer smiling. Cammie's like, move over, Jennifer, here I come.
So we saw the difference in lobs on that one, where Mitten's ball was a little bit closer to her body. She wasn't able to get the arm extended, and it was a shorter lob that ended up with the overhead, and then McGregor closed to finish it.
No stopping Dawson and McGregor up 5-0 game 2.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Gamma Pickleball, the official grip of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. By DP Hue Hair Care Products, so you can go hard on the court, not on your hair. By Babolat Pickleball, join the rebellion. And by Fruit Smash Hard Seltzer. Say bye to basic seltzer.
Zing Zang Championship Court. Great to have you with us on Pickleball Channel, home of the U.S. Open. McGregor on the right, Jen Dawson set to serve, Mitten and Atkins in the far court.
And Chad, if you're Mitten and Atkins, you just came off of that timeout. What are you saying after a 5-0 run?
Well, I think what Minton did right there was what they need to do more of. They moved the ball around, and then a little change of direction. That's the only, you have to try to keep McGregor and Dawson off balance. If they're getting their feet set, they're going to attack you. They're going to bring that ball into the body. So Atkins and Mitten did a good job at the beginning of game 1, and then Dawson and McGregor kind of took over. But again, keeping that ball out of the middle of the court.
Point.
Looks like McGregor just missed that ball long, but I was just about to say keeping that ball out of the middle of the court, and one ball went in the middle, and McGregor then sped it up.
1-5-2.
If they're keeping that ball there, McGregor and Dawson are just going to keep on attacking. So I think that'd be the better game plan for Minton and Atkins right now, is to spread them out a little bit if they can.
Another one up against the net.
We saw Dawson kind of roll her eyes a little bit after that ball that Atkins missed, but they forced Dawson to pop that ball up. It was just Atkins got a little too excited and jumped it. But again, pushing Dawson out wide, getting that ball behind her, overextending, you're much more likely to get a ball popped up than giving those balls that are staying in the middle of the court.
Another Ernie. McGregor able to stay on her feet, a little off balance there. Good recovery. That's what having a great partner is all about, too. Jen Dawson held it down.
Well, and if you know that your partner is going for the Ernie, a lot of the times it's either movement to try to draw that ball into the middle, or you're going to cover that area. So that understanding of coverage once your partner is going there, at times it's either sets up for the finish, or you're there to cover the defense if that ball comes back.
Minton and Atkins want a timeout.
Yeah, I think probably just to work out the frustrations at this point. It's 7-1.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast. By Skechers. Experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. By Margaritaville Hotels and Resorts. Check in and chill out at MargaritavilleResorts.com. And by Pickleball Central, the Pickleball Superstore.
Minton and Atkins taking their best shot at Dawson and McGregor, but Melissa, there's only so much you can do against players that have been so successful here.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now they got to find a way to get out from under an attack, because that's what they felt. I can feel it over here in the booth. So they got to find a way to slow this game down against McGregor and Dawson, and then stop making the unforced errors. That's where they're going to have a turnaround.
7-1 here in game 2.
You see McGregor continuing to kind of hold at her hip. She had to withdraw from mixed pro split age on Tuesday. I asked her if she thought she'd be all right. She said, I hope so.
Been walking a little gingerly today. Dawson back in place. Oh, she can cover some ground. Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah, she was all over the court. And once she got that ball up and started attacking, she's not going to back down. She's going to keep going into the body, and she actually switched right there. We saw the exit I talked about a little bit yesterday. She went to Atkins' backhand and then came back cross into her forehand, and it's very difficult to change directions that quickly. Excellent defense right here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, tremendous set there.
It's tremendous. And when you're playing with that much consistency and that much power and that much speed, that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about hand speed. Talk about shot making, but footwork too, so important. And Jen Dawson with it on display here.
Yeah, they're discussing if that ball hit Dawson's hair. Dawson said she didn't feel it. From what I saw here, it looked like a misdirect off of her hair.
Can we do a video challenge for hair replay?
Because that ball did not go. Well, it's hard from that angle.
Yeah, Cammie McGregor asking us here in the booth if they can challenge this. I don't know that we've ever had this kind of challenge before. We're seeing the replay here. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah,
I think only Jennifer's going to be able to tell if she felt it touch her.
I think it's a tough one. Minton was apologizing for going at the head. When we were watching it live, it looked like the ball came up a little bit, but again, it's hard to tell from the angle of that replay, but sometimes it's also hard to tell when the hair is flicking up in the air as well.
So they are going to do a video challenge. This will be a tough one for the video challenge replay referee.
Saw many replays yesterday during men's senior doubles. This is the first one of today.
But you were talking about footwork earlier before this happened. One of the things to really focus on, if you've been watching this game, is the footwork of McGregor and Dawson, not only in covering the court from side to side, but also their transition forward. A lot of the time we get into that rush, or we've heard it, newer players have heard it or coming up, get to the kitchen as fast as you can. If we talk about a transition, you're looking at moving, stopping, hitting, moving, stopping, hitting, and the split step, and that's a crossover from tennis, has been really, really well executed by McGregor and Dawson.
Don't know if we're going to have enough evidence to overturn the call.
Yeah, certainly from what we've been able to see, I don't see the evidence.
It's got to be absolutely conclusive.
But just like the Minto US Open Pickleball Championships, to be in the history books, this time on a video instant replay challenge for hitting the hair.
Well, Dawson does have a hair clip in where she's got the bun on the top of her head. So I would imagine if the ball did hit it with that hair clip being right there, she would have felt the movement or felt the ball hitting the hair.
Upon video review, the ball is out. The ball did not hit Jennifer Dawson's hair. You have 9 points. You've been charged with one timeout. You still have 1 point.
Well, listen, we had an entertaining day of play yesterday, and we're not getting disappointed in game one here today.
So officially, after this replay, Minton and Atkins will have tried everything to try and disrupt Dawson and McGregor.
Yeah, you got to use everything that you can, you know, so.
(9-1), game 2.
Time in, 9-1.
2 points away from the 3-time defending champions.
But incorrect server.
Oh, so the hair continues to be a distraction.
It's a bad hair day.
Yes, and it's DP Hue Hair Product Day here on Women's Day.
1-9-1.
So it's appropriate.
That's not a correct server.
Here we go.
I'll recall the score. 1-9-1.
How about that shot, though?
Yeah, what an angle. I mean, and low, wide. I mean, it's just about impossible to defend.
That was excellent control, and we see with the top spin roll there, the way to hit that is to take that ball out in front, and Dawson did an excellent job taking it early, getting underneath it, and just rolling that ball across.
9-1.
And I really feel Atkins' frustration. I said earlier when we started the broadcast, she's really one of the most consistent players, and I know that this is very atypical to see the unforced errors being made here this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen
9-1-2.
Atkins around for a long time, and she's definitely got that consistency in her game.
Oh, we had a tweener from Minton. You know, that's got to feel a little good for him that something actually worked, right?
Yeah, and we can see, here's a replay of the tweener. But then Mitten came
1,
forward
9,
and
1.
threw up an offensive lob, and it looked like McGregor went to take a step back, and we talked about with the hip earlier. Well, I was going to say her mobility might be hindered a little bit, but then she runs around for Ernie. So it may be some movements there. McGregor took a little longer route on that one by going around the kitchen on the Ernie. There's two ways to do it. There's one to go around
1,
it.
9, 2.
That way you ensure that both your feet are established. You can slide through it, or you can jump over it.
Yeah, and then Mitten trying to get pumped up on that one. You know, it's got to feel good when not too much has been going your way.
Yeah, Mitten read that
2,
misdirection
9,
really,
2.
really well. Before McGregor even hit that ball, she jumped out to the forehand side and was sitting there waiting to tee off on it.
Another point. A little momentum here, Melissa.
Yeah, a little momentum. They've put a couple of good points together. This may give them a little bit of confidence to get back into the game. I know
3,
it's
9,
9-3,
2.
but it's still very doable.
We've seen it happen before.
Side out.
Mitten went for a little extra spin there to try to get that ball to drop down in
9,
front of
3,
McGregor.
1.
And sometimes when we had too much wrist,
Second serve.
we don't get the carry. Another unforced error on a serve from Dawson. That's a tough one. You're later in the game and
9,
you
3, 2.
go hard on the serve. Obviously that's the time to go hard because you're not giving away a point. You're just giving away an opportunity.
Oh, came up short.
So see, that's working. Atkins and Mitten have put together a strategy. They're setting up and constructing a point. They're being patient.
3,
They're
9,
slowing that
1.
hard game down from Dawson and McGregor, and that's really a recipe for success.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a little bit of indecision from McGregor there whether she was going to change direction or not. And sometimes with that slower ball, there's a little bit more thinking going on. McGregor and Dawson are trying to hit their way out of this, but Mitten and Atkins are doing an excellent job of defense, looking to work their way back in.
Oh, a little wide.
And fantastic. They did a great job of working themselves back in. And McGregor, who's been aggressive all game long, just didn't get the shot she anticipated
4,
she would
9,
get there,
1.
and it went out.
Yeah, Mitten kind of put that out of McGregor's reach just enough that ended up pulling it across the court. But we talk about it with defense a lot of the time. For pickleball, if you can make your opponents hit one more ball, you always have that chance of one, staying in the point, but two, finishing it.
And a little bit of miscommunication between Mitten and Atkins there gave an opportunity to McGregor. She was right there for that miscue.
Second serve here from Mitten and Atkins. Pulled to within 5 here, 9-4.
4, 9, 2.
Valiant effort, win or lose here for Mitten and Atkins. Can they keep this momentum rolling, though?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, and she saw that little bit of an opening because they've been attacking the backhand side in the corner of McGregor, kind of keeping her honest to that sideline, created
5,
a bit of an
9,
opening in the
2.
middle, and they were able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they were able to attack both backhand and forehand side there. McGregor does a good job of resetting the ball, but unfortunate with the net cord.
Side out.
Both teams are doing an excellent job with the resets here on these attacks. And it's a very, very difficult thing to do, but they stay relaxed, they loosen the
9,
grip,
5,
allow
1.
that ball to hit the paddle and aren't over swinging.
And McGregor's thinking she got away with one there, really.
She's really starting to lead. We're definitely seeing the more that she's moving and putting pressure on that right hip. We've seen her
You have no more time remaining.
wince after a couple of points.
So McGregor trying to keep it together. In some pain here. They need 1 point to advance.
Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. By Zing Zang, America's favorite Bloody Mary mix. By Franklin X40, the official ball of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. And by the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Save the date, April 15th to 22nd, 2023.
Match point here for Dawson and McGregor. Minton and Atkins certainly not going quietly.
Point.
Just a little bit long,
11,
and Dawson
5,
McGregor will
Dawson
fend off the
McGregor.
comeback.
Yeah, and they did a great job. So hopefully Cami have a little bit of tough time. This match gets them into the semifinal, and so we'll see that match. We'll see them back here again on center court a little bit later today, but they were just too much for Minton and Atkins this afternoon. Here we'll see it again. We had a couple of balls given away from Sarah Minton.
Jen Dawson continuing to apply the pressure. Good comeback by Minton and Atkins, but not enough. It's McGregor and Dawson advancing here at the Open.
Margaritaville. It's not just a state of mind. Now it's a place to live. Introducing Latitude Margaritaville. New homes in 55 and better communities where you can live the Margaritaville lifestyle every day. Find your new home at latitudemargaritaville.com.
Time to celebrate a return to all things incredible. The competition you can only find at the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. The blue skies and white sand beaches that restore your soul. The luxurious surroundings and award-winning restaurants that rejuvenate your spirit. So join us for world-class pickleball action and stay for everything else. When it's time for championship pickleball where everyone wins, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
Working out doesn't have to be this complicated. That's why I make walking my workout with Skechers' new Workout Walker. They're loaded with performance and comfort technology, including a carbon-infused plate to add more spring to your step. They're ready for your ultimate walking workout. Just put them on and walk. You guys tired already? I'm still walking. Try Skechers' new Workout Walker. It'd be a lot easier if you just rolled.
Stay, play, and dine in Margaritaville. Escape while enjoying Margaritaville's signature casual luxury, fun, and laid-back hospitality. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
It took about 30 days for the event to fill up in its inaugural year. From 30 days down to 3 hours, it shows you how popular this event has become.
moment to be on this final Saturday at Naples, so it's been great. There's just no words to describe, you know, the feeling of just what just happened.
There's nothing like the energy you get when you come into this park and everything starts humming throughout the day.
The enthusiasm here is like nothing else.
There's not a better stage in pickleball than this court. This is my favorite place, as you know, on earth to play. The energy, the electricity around here is second to none.
You came here last year for the U.S. Open. You fell in love with the area.
I love this place. It is a beautiful, wonderful place to be.
For me, it's the best tournament of the year. The atmosphere, the people, they're dancing, the music's going, they're having fun. This is what we play for. This is it.
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddle Tech, let's go again.
My hard seltzering wasn't always secure. I don't like tall, slim cans in my hand. That's not me anymore.
If you're sick of basic seltzers with artificial aftertaste, join a growing community that's taking back control of their seltzering.
Fruit Smash changed my life. Thank you, Fruit Smash.
Next, women's senior pro doubles match. Bagby and Bellamy, Kargis and Unopet on the other side. As Dawson and McGregor win the first, Natalie Bagby out of France, a very seasoned senior pro, former tennis pro at Riviera Tennis Club. Beth Bellamy, meanwhile, was once a world junior tennis #1, her first time ever here at the U.S. Open. Chris Kargis, meanwhile, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Got some SEC flavor here. She's the senior tennis player of the year in the conference at one point. Miss Unopet out of Birmingham, Alabama. Crimson Tide country. Once studied at Tulane, though, number 22 on the pro circuit right now. And this should be a really, really fun match. Every single player playing their best coming into 2022.
Yeah, because A and Chris, they're scrappy, right? And so we got a couple of tennis players over, and certainly Beth Bellamy. Last year at this time, she wasn't playing pro, and here she is winning at the highest level.
Point. 1-0-2. Side out.
Does an excellent job of staying in the point and transitioning back forward.
0-1-1.
But an Uppett and Cargis were able to just keep the pressure on, keeping Bagby and Bellamy off balance.
Point.
Looks like Bellamy just tried to rush that ball, getting it cross court. Opened the face up a little too quickly.
Second server. One, 2. Side out.
Excellent job by Bellamy, attacking that ball that was up, going across the body of Cargis, and she was able to manage to get the first one back, but the second one coming across the body a little bit more with a half chicken wing.
Don't start talking about chicken wings.
I'm somewhat hungry
yeah.
right now.
Second server.
This is also Natalie Bagby's first U.S. Open.
One, 2.
Don't expect Natalie to be phased at all. She is so seasoned. Really good when she talks about concentration. Had a chance to listen to a few podcasts. She was talking about the focus that it takes to be successful in the game of pickleball.
Yeah, and this isn't a new partnership of Natalie and Bagby and Beth Bellamy either. Earlier this year, they won gold together. This is the APP Legacy Golden Ticket event out in Arizona, taking down the likes of Eva Welcher and Helen Wilhelm, Jennifer Lucor, and J.G. LeMaster, Hall of Famers.
Second server.
Bagby's doing an excellent job of getting that penetrating ball out wide to Cargis.
Side out.
Can definitely see the tennis background with Bagby and Bellamy. They're able to create the angles with a smooth stroke coming through.
Point.
A little short that time. Got to mention too, the wind picking up just a little bit here at East Naples Community Park.
3-1-1. Second server.
Kyle just did a better job there of
3-1-2.
getting the ball a little bit wider to Bagby. She had kept the ball inside her body a couple of times, and Bagby was really forcing that ball out wide. By being able to take that ball early and taking it cross court, I think that's something they've got to focus on more.
1-3-1. Point.
Bagby into the net, another point here. Cargis and Unapit within one.
Well, we saw Bagby and Bellamy come out of the stack. Now they're going back into it. So on that previous ball, there was two backhands in the middle, and it's kind of, you've gotten used to having two forehands, and then you have two backhands, and nobody goes for the ball.
Yeah, sure. 3-3-1.
covered earlier that these players were some of the top players in the women's senior pro doubles from a seeding perspective in this bracket. Bagby and Bellamy, number 1. Cargis and Anapit, number 8.
Cargis and Anapit have gone on a nice 4-point run right here. We saw better placement of balls, and then Cargis was able to reset that attack.
5-3-1.
And it seemed like Bellamy and Bagby just weren't expecting that ball to come back after the attack. Cargis and Anapit are staying very, very consistent right here. Anapit's hitting some good penetrating balls. Cargis' defense has stepped up. As we take a quick timeout here at 6-3.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by DecoTurf, the official pickleball court surface of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. By Paddle Tech, official paddle of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. By ilovepickles.org, a place to celebrate all things pickled. And by Franklin, the official bag of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships.
Back here on Zing Zang Championship Court. Great to have you with us on Pickleball Channel. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, Chad Edwards. We saw in the match before this, Cammie McGregor was favoring her hip, Chad. So right now she's not on the court. There's obviously some places you can get treatment around the complex, right, as you get ready to advance.
Yeah, and over toward the racquetball courts, the 3-wall racquetball courts over here. I know the Arthrex treatment tent, Cora, and the first aid over there. I was actually walking past earlier with people getting stretched and having their bodies worked on before going back out onto the court.
And the Open is the only place that does this. They have the athletic trainers in each of the pods. So you got a Skechers pod, a Minto pod, a Zing Zang pod, you got a Margaritaville pod. The pros play primarily back on the Margaritaville pod, and there they have a pro players tent, and inside the tent they have a trainer.
Oh, nicely done. Anapit.
Anapit actually has a surprising amount of power within a smaller frame. That's the second backhand that I've seen her really put a good swing on.
7-3-2.
That's in.
Side out.
Right behind Anapit.
Anapit just said, I think I have a hole in my paddle. It looked like she was just in front of it. So with the spin that Bagby was able to create, it actually jumped up and over Anapit's paddle.
Yeah, we saw it happen to many of the best men's seniors yesterday.
I always blame the paddle when I miss a ball.
Who else's fault could it be?
Talk about paddles walking through the indoor part or underneath the tent to get through here to Zing Zang Championship Court. Melissa, the vendors, the paddles, just absolutely incredible. If you don't get the fever walking through here in this park, you'll never get it.
And no, Vendor Village is pretty awesome, and I think there's record sales going on out there. You know, people love to go through the Vendor Village, see the vendors, but they also like to take their picture under their state flag. The state flags are hanging inside Vendor Village. And this park is packed today. You know, there's 59 other courts that have action going on. It is a real party atmosphere out there.
5-7-2.
Bob in a pretty tough spot there for Kargis. Longest point so far of the match.
And beaten by the net. That was definitely an excellent point, moving that ball around. Potentially, within that point, there was the opportunity for Anopit and Kargis to be a little bit more aggressive. They kind of backed off.
6-7-2.
But one thing I think they need to pick up on, the majority of balls that are coming back to Bagby, she's hitting that cross-court drop to Kargis. And they tried to change it up and going at Bellamy, but if you leave that ball short down the line, especially to a former tennis player, they're going to drive that ball hard at you and hard at you straight in front.
Big overhead, nicely done from Bagby.
So point, excuse me. Correction, point.
Referee Kathy Postleway.
I was just going to say, Bagby and Bellamy have definitely taken the approach of trying to isolate Kargis.
By far the longest point of the match so far. Finished by Umapit.
And a big come on by Anopit.
I think that's the first come on that we've seen today after yesterday's
flurry of fist bumps.
It was a fist pump fest yesterday.
Score 7-8-1. You have 1 minute.
Timeout called on the court. Unapit, number 22, out of Birmingham, Alabama, coming on to Zing Zang Championship Court.
U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast. By Skechers. Experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. By Margaritaville Hotels and Resorts. Check in and chill out at margaritavilleresorts.com. And by Pickleball Central, the Pickleball Superstore.
Great to have you with us on Pickleball Channel at the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, pickleballtournaments.com, Chad Edwards from Peak Performance. I wish all of you out there could sit next to Melissa McCurley just for a few minutes during a tournament like this, because not only does she call the action, she's going through bracket by bracket. It seems like every single match going on this week here in Naples. It is incredible to witness.
We'll have some 5,185 matches, to be precise, that we'll play here over the week. We've got a fantastic team here doing a great job, and Nicole Hobson, Dee Davison. I've got April Price, as well as Marin Holiday, and I got 2 people off-site, and Kelly Gent and Jim Wiggins also providing outstanding support. They just do a tremendous job, but we prepare all year to be here at a historic event like the U.S. Open.
I'm the only one that doesn't have anything in front of him. I just call it how I see it.
Chad's just hanging out. Another day in the park.
Side out.
Another nice point there and a side out here for Bagby and Bellamy.
8-7-1.
Annette Bagby, she is responding.
Wow. That was an excellent two-hand roll from an op-it. And I spoke about it earlier with Dawson and having that two-hand backhand, being able to change direction so effortlessly. And op-it did an excellent job of rolling that. It becomes more like a left-handed forehand, and that right hand is just there for control, but it allows you to get outside the ball. But I have been quite impressed with the defense of Kargis right here. She's getting a lot of balls hit at her, and she's staying in those points.
7-8-1.
So Chad, in a minute, if you can, talk about that, because we've talked about playing positions, playing spots, but there's a time where you should play a player as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the times you'll see that isolation, like I spoke about yesterday, you'll see that isolation in mixed doubles. But I think right now, an op-it, again, has surprising power, and Bellamy and Bagby are looking to go at Kargis because she doesn't have that power. It's not something that's going to hurt you. Kargis's strength right here is staying in the point, keeping that ball down. So that's a situation where you can isolate a player to try to keep away from the power, and it comes down to Kargis here. She's the one that's controlling the point for an op-it and herself. We saw a good lob by Bellamy, but yeah, that's definitely a situation. If you have somebody that's not going to hurt you with power, and somebody that is, go for the person that doesn't have the power.
It's been a lob fest here during this point.
Wow.
Doing everything she can to keep it alive. And now Kargis. Oh.
Side out.
Almost wanted that for a nut, but she worked so hard.
She just went for a little too much, coming back behind the lefty of Bagby.
And you know, when you were just describing what Chris Kargis and the attack she's under and the consistency, it reminds me of another pairing in Corinne Carr and Simone Jargin, where Corinne was always under attack, but she was such a great defensive player.
Definitely, and that's also playing to your strengths. Corinne knew that she was a better defensive player than an offensive player, but she still had the ability to attack and surprise somebody.
Another great get by Anopit. Kargis.
Oh.
That breaks by the net here in game number 1.
Yeah, and certainly the right idea. What Anopit was trying to do was get her and Kargis back in to the kitchen line, kind of get back into a offensive position. They were in a defensive position there.
9-8-1.
Seesaw battle here in game 1. 9-8 advantage Bagby and Bellamy.
Point.
I think we're seeing Anopit get a little frustrated with herself
10-8-1.
with the last 2 misses. She rushed that return or didn't quite stay through it long enough, pushing it out.
Game point. And into the net. Bagby and Bellamy come back to take game number 1. Kargis and Anopit maybe won't let one get away there as they controlled for most of the game. Women's senior pro doubles here at the Open. Yesterday it was men's singles. We talked about all the come-ons and all the fist pumps and everything else. Jose Derisi, a day to remember here on Zing Zang Championship Court. The fists were out, the fists were flying. Chad, it was almost like a boxing match.
Yeah, and we did have the over-under bet between us and the truck, and I lost miserably with a guess of 7.
I wasn't far behind at 9.
But like we talked about yesterday, Derisi feeds off that. He gets the fist pumps going in. It gets him fired up. It pumps him full of energy. And we see Crandall starting to do it as the match goes on as well. So technically we had some double fist bumps in there, so the overall number may have been different.
And he was really going at Dave Weinbach in the match earlier when Gingrich and Weinbach took on Crandall and DeRisi. Little motion in the game. I like it, guys.
It was a lot of fun. These matches with the men yesterday were just had a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity, and ultimately a lot of great sportsmanship as well.
Final tally, 19 fist bumps and a win for Crandall and Jose DeRisi out of Rochester, New York.
And a win for Drew Felios as well.
Hey, I said 25.
And everybody laughed at you.
Came by just a little bit short. Hey, you know, talked about pickleball, and eventually it's going to get a lot more wagering as this sport continues to gain popularity. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, and Chad Edwards, and Bagby and Bellamy. Seen some new looks, too, from, you know, the fashion statements made here at the Open. I know you like Bellamy's leggings, Melissa.
I do. Very stylish here at the DPU Ladies Day right here on Zing Zang Championship Court. It's a great partnership that we're seeing here in Bagby and Bellamy as well, again making their first appearance at the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. And this is a quarterfinal match. Whoever advances here goes on to the semifinals.
I think Kargis and Noppet need to treat game 2 here like they were. I was just about to call that. I was literally just talking about that. Kargis needs to start pushing that ball out further behind Bagby to allow Noppet to step across in the middle and start the hands battle. So
1-0-2.
Much like with mixed doubles, where the ladies are going cross court a lot, and the men is the male partner is looking to interject themselves into the middle of the court.
Side out.
Because Kargis is seeing so many balls, I think she needs to start pulling Bagby further off the court or toward her backhand to bring Noppet into the point a little bit more.
0-1-1. Point.
And that was a good time for Kargis to speed the ball up. It's just Bagby read that very well. And that is the danger of having two forehands in the middle. That ball that Kargis just hit typically is attacking a backhand, but with Bagby being a lefty, she was able to get a good forehand swing on it.
Not but the finish.
Yeah, and they did a great job of moving Bagby and Bellamy around there, creating a not just an opening, but heck, that was could drive it.
You could drive a truck through that one, and that was created by Noppet by starting the angle early. A lot of the mistakes that are made by players that are struggling to get that ball out of the middle of the court is they're going back at the people, at their opponents as they're transitioning forward, and then they try to start the angle once they're up at the kitchen. If you can start that angle early and force them to now zigzag forward, it's much more difficult for them to stay balanced and stay in the point.
1-1-1.
Into the nets from Bellamy, another point.
2-1-1.
There you go.
Very nice. Bellamy was able to get the first ball back that Carr just sped up into the body, but then she attacked the same positioning as Bellamy ended up being turned side on. So, like we said,
took a little bit out of her, you think?
3-1-1.
It does take a lot for a defensive player to attack those balls compared to somebody like an Oppet that's got that natural power and can speed a ball up effortlessly.
And this is where an Oppet and Carr just could
Timeout's
really
been taken by the
take
receiving team. The score
advantage
is
because they had two
4-1-1.
backhands
You
in the
have 1
middle,
minute.
and you saw the opportunity that it created, and they took it.
4-1. Gargis and Unapa trying to even things up.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. By Zing Zang, America's favorite Bloody Mary mix. By Franklin X40, the official ball of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. And by the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Save the date, April 15th to 22nd, 2023.
Great to have you with us on Pickleball Channel. You look at our License to Chill VIP lounge just outside Zing Zang Championship Court. Brought to you by Margaritaville. The party goes on all week long in that License to Chill VIP lounge. And again, still yet to indulge over there. I think if I get a little bit of a break, guys, and I'm not here sitting here, you'll know where to find me.
And they've expanded it this year. They now have the VIP dock, which is just behind us in the air-conditioned community center behind us, which has just added even more for the VIP patrons that there's a wait list for every single year. It is the Licensed Chilled Lounge is legend worldwide.
I will admit I did enjoy a couple of land sharks yesterday during
Receiving team, you have
the
1
play.
timeout remaining. Serving team, you have
Is
2
that why
timeouts
you were a
remaining.
little bit slow maybe in that
Time in.
later hour?
4-1-1.
No, I was relaxed. The words were flowing. I don't know if you noticed I started talking more toward the end of it yesterday compared to the beginning.
Oh, man. Hit a little bit wide.
Second server.
Carr just went for just a little too much, and Oppet was doing an excellent job of being the aggressor there, and they got the opening, but Carr just pulled it across the body.
Right, so they're gonna keep the backhands in the middle, I believe.
4-1-2.
They're gonna
got their
make a switch.
their switch signal
Yep.
out.
Oh! Rolls across the net. Go get it.
Oh.
Point.
And just a great job. And what communication there? I mean, you're looking at it right up as an overhead, and you see you can't make it, and there your partner is right behind you, and it's either about to get the ball or get your head. I can relate to their height disadvantage.
Yes, you are. 5-1-2.
Vertically challenged is just in the mind.
That's my thoughts exactly. But I'm always pointing out I'm 5'2" and a quarter. A quarter.
The quarter's the important part.
Point.
Very, very nice job by an Oppet there, coming over and being the aggressor, taking control of the middle, trying not to step on Cargis's foot and fall into the kitchen at the same time.
Lead now 6-1. And a put away.
Side out.
Bellamy definitely has a little bit larger backswing than the majority of the senior pro ladies on tour, but that's coming from the tennis background, but her timing is really, really spot on when she goes for that big forehand.
Well, that was a tough leave there. but she really wasn't in position to do anything else with it. Went long.
I'd like to see more of that from Bellamy. She was doing that earlier on in the first game.
1-6-2.
Backed off a little bit after a couple of mistakes, and I definitely think she needs to stay with that pressure there.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely need to keep their foot on the gas. I mean, both of them coming out from California, being their first U.S. Open. I'm sure just the climate and humidity here is taking a different toll on them as opposed to the players on the other side who are from this region of the country.
Yeah, they're a little bit more used to the humidity.
Talk about the state of the game right now as we have throughout the week, guys, and there is a reason why you hear it so much. Nobody on the tennis court, everybody's on the pickleball court. Of course, no disrespect to tennis, such an incredible game, phenomenal game, great history. But there's also a reason why pickleball is seeing the explosion in numbers and basically the hoopla that it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Drew. I mean, it's a fun social game, relatively quick and easy to learn. You get 4 people of equal skill on a court. You just can't have a better time. It's inexpensive to pick up. You know, it's a very welcoming game. Pickleball is like a family no matter where you go, so you can show up at any place around the country, and even if you don't have a paddle in your hand, someone will greet you to come play, put one in your hand, and off you go.
And I will say that today's pickleball game does owe a lot to tennis, because the interjection of the power of the new shots, just the sheer pace of the game has been uplifted from those people transitioning from tennis to pickleball.
Side out.
But as far as your average everyday athlete deciding to go all in on something, that's where I think this game clearly has the edge over tennis right now.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, people have been able to continue on competitive professional careers almost as a second professional sport after retiring from another. And you see primarily a lot of those coming from tennis. And I think we'll see more of that, Drew and Chad, as more tennis players, you know, look at how pickleball is growing from a professional perspective and having to make a choice. Am I going to be able to be top in the game in tennis, or do I have a better chance in pickleball?
Oh, just missed that time by Gargis.
The social aspect is actually what drew me to the game. When I was playing baseball, nobody ever said, hey, you know, hit this ball softly or go 50%. But it was the fact that you could laugh and have a good time, and everybody was out. Oh, fantastic movement by Bagby across the kitchen there from left to right. But and we'll see it here again. She's coming through with the big forehand. But it's also tournaments like this with the U.S. Open where it's just a big party for the week, and everybody's down here having fun, and it's just a completely different atmosphere in pickleball compared to a lot of the other professional sports that have been around.
You just like to drink the beer.
Well, I did start playing pickleball because of beer.
Another good hands battle here, won by Bagby and Bellamy.
Yeah, so the game has kind of slowed down a bit in that momentum that Cargis and Noppet had to get up to this 6-1 lead. So it almost feels a little bit like a momentum shift could occur here.
Key side out here for Bagby and Bellamy.
Point.
Yeah, and there's that aggressive approach that you're saying you'd like to see more from Beth Bellamy.
Yeah, she's starting to be the aggressor more.
3-6-1.
But they've also started to switch. They're not solely going over after Cargis now. They're coming at Noppet as well and forcing her to play.
Oh, another great play, Natalie Bagby. That is some kind of skill right there. The paddles go down for Cargis and Noppet. And a comeback here in game 2 could be on the way. Step aside, come back to Zing Zang Championship Court in a moment.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Gamma Pickleball, the official grip of the US Open Pickleball Championships. By DP Hue hair care products, so you can go hard on the court, not on your hair. By Babolat Pickleball, join the rebellion. And by Fruit Smash Hard Seltzer, say bye to basic seltzer.
Chris Gargis and Miss Unapa, Tennessee and Birmingham represented. Trying to battle back, conceding game one, leading here in game number two, but Bagby and Bellamy going for the sweep.
Receiving team, you have 1 timeout remaining.
Anytime you get a chance to star here on Zing Zang Championship Court with so many courts around the complex, it's like stepping up to center stage. You only get so many opportunities. You have to make the most of it.
You do, and there's no bigger stage in pickleball than right here at the US Open. No better environment than the Zing Zang Championship Court.
4-6-1.
You just feel the electricity all week long, and it just gets more intense as the week goes.
Well played.
And what an angle that was on that ball. Unapa did everything that she could.
Yeah, Bellamy did a much better job here. One, anticipating that the lob was going to come back, and then kept the pressure on. And then because she was out in front so far, she was able to change direction and push that ball out wide, where the only option she had was trying to come back and ended up popping it up.
Second server.
Overswing there.
Yeah, Bellamy set that ball up well. And it kind of just looked like Bagby wasn't expecting it to be that high and took a little too large a swing.
5-6-2.
This is some kind of plan right now from Bagby and Bellamy.
Bellamy's definitely changed her game plan, taking those balls a lot earlier and spreading that ball across the court.
Of course, you look at them too, Chad. A little bit of a reach advantage for Bagby and Bellamy.
Yeah, definitely. Height plays an advantage in this game, especially when you're looking at taking balls earlier, reaching into the kitchen.
Just long.
Side out.
And I like that play from Bellamy. She's done it a couple of times now where she's thrown up the lob, come forward and anticipated that ball being up a little bit.
6-6-1.
On that one, just overswung.
Second server.
Net didn't help on up it right there. She was anticipating correctly. That's always difficult when the ball hits that net.
6-6-2.
Jumps by a couple of inches.
And they really need a point here. I mean, they were up 6-1, and here we are at 6-6.
Side out.
But they're not going to get it here.
Six, 6-1.
Swinging away, and that's some great defense by Bagby and Bellamy.
Great defense, and then they've got some power behind it as well. Bellamy coming in with a big forehand to an opposite's backhand.
7-6-1.
Bagby to serve.
Point.
It's another point.
And typically, Bellamy's been taking that same ball and coming down the line at Kargis. I think an opposite was expecting that same ball, and Bellamy switched it up and went cross court.
You can kind of feel right now Anapit is making several unforced errors in this case, or someone might call that one a forced error. But you can just kind of sense their energies come down just a little bit. And
that's very similar to game one. They were up in game one, and then we saw 3 unforced errors in a row, and it kind of just deflated them a little bit. They've got to find a way that they can get back, pick up the energy, start controlling this again like they were on the early run.
Just about to say, Chad, a carbon copy of game number 1 here in game 2. Oh.
Yeah. I almost thought they were about to get an unlucky break, but they actually got a lucky break instead.
But Kargis to serve.
Yeah, and they're by far not out of this game. So, you know, they've got to believe here. They certainly have the capability.
Bagby and Bellamy have kind of picked up on the strategy change of going after Bagby's backhand. I would like to see that ball come down the line to Bellamy's backhand a couple more. Keep her honest rather than allowing her to come in and take the middle of the court.
Second serve from Unapit.
And this is where they have the opportunity. Yeah, and see, because there is a transition that's having to happen between Bellamy and Bagby, just so it takes them another, few seconds to get set because they are changing sides of the court. So finally, with that, they got up to point number 6. Wow, what a get.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And that is the point of the match, and this crowd is enjoying it, you guys. It's the best effort we've seen all day.
They have picked up the pace, found a second win right here, so hopefully they can keep on this roll.
9-8, Kargis and Unapit on the comeback trail.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast. By Skechers. Experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. By Margaritaville Hotels and Resorts. Check in and chill out at margaritavilleresorts.com. And by Pickleball Central, the Pickleball Superstore.
Packed once again underneath the blue roof. Fans taking in some tremendous pickleball. Unapit and Kargis, Bagby and Bellamy here on Pickleball Channel. Coverage continues throughout the day. This is day 5, dedicated to senior pro doubles. So 9-8 the score. Kargis and Unapit trying to complete the comeback.
Time in. 8-9-2.
Let a couple leads go in this match. Trying to return the favor here.
Side out.
And that's the ball I would have liked to see Kargis come down the line to Bellamy's backhand instead of going cross court to Bagby. Because Bellamy's closing that middle, it's allowing Bagby to stay where she is, and she was able to generate a much sharper angle.
And now match point coming up.
Yeah, she just didn't quite get that lob out far enough. But she's got good enough defense. She can often defend it back. It just was a little bit too low and went in the net on her.
10-8-1. Yes, you are. I'll recall the score. 10-8-1.
Bellamy to serve for the match. Another great point.
Second server.
And the hands battle won by Karjas and Unapit.
Yeah, and so they've defended a match point here. Let's see if they can defend another one.
Karjas did a much better job of moving Bagby around on that one as well. She was pushing out wide, coming back middle, pushing out wide.
Can they fight off another match point? No, they can't.
Point.
And they did.
Match.
They didn't fight off it. That's match point for Bagby and Bellamy. What a match.
Natalie Bagby, Beth Bellamy. 11-8, 11-8. Really good match. Back and forth action. They had to come from behind once again.
Yeah, and you know, Karjas and Unapit were scrappy, just like we said. And you know, they did a great job. Look forward to seeing Bellamy and Bagby here to see if they can get their first ever U.S. Open championship.
Women's senior doubles continues here from Naples on Pickleball Channel. Stay tuned.
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddle Tech, let's go again.
Hey everybody, it's Rusty with Pickleball Channel, and I am thrilled to be back.
is women's doubles.
Stay, play, and dine in Margaritaville. Escape while enjoying Margaritaville's signature casual luxury, fun, and laid-back hospitality. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
Working out doesn't have to be this complicated. That's why I make walking my workout with Skechers' new Workout Walker. They're loaded with performance and comfort technology, including a carbon-infused plate to add more spring to your step. They're ready for your ultimate walking workout. Just put them on and walk. You guys tired already? I'm still walking. Try Skechers' new Workout Walker. It'd be a lot easier if you just rolled.
Coverage of women's senior pro doubles continues. Welsher and Wilhelm will take center stage here for the first time at the Open. Dawson and McGregor won our first match of the day. Our bracket looks like this: 4 teams now competing for a women's senior pro doubles championship. See some great talent here. Jennifer Dawson, one of the most decorated women's players in the game. Look at that resume, and I guarantee I can go a lot longer than that. Cammie McGregor, same thing, although she's been aggravated by a bit of a hip injury, trying to tough it out here to play for a championship. Ava Welsher, very well known in the pickleball world, from Engage Pickleball. Right here in Naples is her home, and a Pro Mix champ last year. Helen Wilhelm, a silver medalist from senior pro doubles from a year ago. She comes from Coppell, Texas.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Welsher since she started playing pickleball, and it's been a lot of fun to see her come up. Wilhelm obviously has been around for a little bit longer, but they're definitely going to have to step it up against McGregor and Dawson here because they were on fire earlier today.
Like the color coordination too from Welsher and Wilhelm as we get started here on Pickleball Channel. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, Chad Edwards. It's been an awesome week here thus far.
1-0-2.
So much great pickleball action to come.
And we're definitely going to see McGregor and Dawson be more aggressive than Wilhelm and Welsher. So the key for Welsher and Wilhelm to come out on top here is to stay patient, to keep that ball down, and not give Dawson and McGregor any balls to speed up. Have them find the way of developing that point. And obviously because Wilhelm and Welsher have that control ability, McGregor and Dawson have to find a way to get those balls sped up, come up into the body, just like McGregor did right there. We will see a lot of third shot drives from McGregor and Dawson. We saw that in the earlier match.
1-2-1. Point.
Welsher's returned a little bit long.
2-2-1.
That's always a hard unforced error to deal with there when you miss a return.
That one right down the line of beauty by McGregor.
Yeah, that was an excellent misdirection by McGregor, and we've seen those misdirects or inside outs develop more and more over the years, but they're disguising them even better by holding that paddle out there, making it look like you're going cross court, and then just a slight change of the hand right at contact.
Another winner by Ava Welsher. Plays with such passion and emotion. She's like a little kid out there, isn't she?
Oh, Ava loves pickleball. She loves pickleball. I think I met her the first time 4 or 5 years ago, and she was so excited to make that transition to pickleball, and she's kept the enthusiasm and the excitement up since day one.
Four two now. Dawson comes up emphatically.
Yeah, and there's the power game that we're going to see from Dawson. She sped the ball up into Wilhelm. Wilhelm was able to get a paddle on the first couple and get them back, but unfortunately wasn't able to keep them down. And Dawson was able to finish at the feet of Welsher. Excellent job of moving the ball around by Wilhelm, bringing the ball back to the middle of the court to create the angle out wide.
2-5-1.
Off to a fast start here. Up against the net for McGregor, makes it 3-5.
And both Dawson and McGregor caught the net there.
3-5-1.
Welsher's balls were fairly flat at net high, and if you're taking a flat swing on a flat ball, you're going to flirt with the net.
4-5-1.
Did a really good job, and so did Welsher on that point, placing the ball.
Yeah, and we see McGregor kind of hunched over after that one. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Wilhelm and Welsher kind of test that hip of McGregor. You see her kind of limping a little bit as she's getting up to the net. So I would say that putting the pressure on McGregor here and making her hit a lot of balls and moving her around.
Unfazed that time, but clearly you see after the point, she kind of limps over towards the sideline.
Yeah, it's definitely more the balls that are down lower. She's able to stay taller on those balls that are up and not put as much pressure on the hip. But if it's something that's low or something that's pulling her out wide, it's much more difficult for her to stay balanced.
Oh. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, that was an excellent job of McGregor coming back and finding that hole through the middle. Made it look like she was going to go down the line.
6-5-1.
And just a little floater roll, landing just inside the baseline.
McGregor comes strong again. Makes it a 7-5 game. Cammy McGregor dealing with a few elements, handling it very well, and a 2-point lead for the 3-time defending champions in senior women's doubles here at the Open.
The Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville, is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. By Zing Zang, America's favorite Bloody Mary mix. By Franklin X40, the official ball of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. And by the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Save the date, April 15th to 22nd, 2023.
Great to have you with us here on Pickleball Channel. It is DP Hugh Ladies Day all day here at the U.S. Open. One of our many proud sponsors. Melissa, thrilled to have them along for the ride.
I'm very excited. So they got some fantastic hair products. They're giving them away in the vendor village. And you can also get access to them inside the new showers that they have at the Welcome Center.
7, 5, 1.
Beautiful brand new Welcome Center that they've built here at the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Really transformed the environment, Drew.
Now, big question as we watch Welsher come through. Can the products be used by men? Because I'm always looking for some hair products, but I guess to have hair products, you got to have hair, right?
Well, I am sure it is not biased to gender for the hair products.
I was just checking to see how much you're thinning on top right there.
Chad doesn't have that problem.
No, they're brutal in here. Brutal.
Mine just goes gray, but at least I've still got the full head of hair.
5, 7, 1.
Distinguished.
I'm fighting, guys. I'm fighting. The struggle's real. Oh, Cam had so many gets, but Welsher eventually the final say.
And that was a much better point from Wilhelm and Welsher right there compared to the little run that Dawson and McGregor went on. They've got to expect that that ball is going to be coming hard. It's going to be coming into the body. Look to counterattack.
Second server.
Because with those balls that come up, McGregor and Dawson are just too good at the deception of where those balls are going or getting those balls down to the feet.
Side out.
Just watching McGregor in that point, and her strokes are so short and so compact.
7, 6,
She's
1.
able to go backhand, forehand. It's something for those of you that are watching right now to take notice of how much control is created from a shorter swing.
Point.
And even the power side of it.
These ladies represent the sport
8,
so
6,
well.
1.
And they really do, and they're very active tournament players throughout the year. Of course, the U.S. Open being a player and fan favorite.
Second server.
Ellen Wilhelm, Coppell, Texas represented. Silver medalist
8,
last
6,
year
2.
in this event.
I like the play there from Welsher, trying to move McGregor around. Just went a little too fine and pushed that ball out wide.
I'm loving the matching outfits by Welsher and Wilhelm.
Yeah, you're late to the party on that one. We've already discussed it.
Sorry about that. I missed being at the
Who
party.
knew that Drew and I would talk about outfits?
Yeah, I know.
Well, actually, it was just Drew.
I've always thought he was in touch with his feminine side.
Hey, there is something to be said. Look good, play good. Goes
Well
with the territory.
said. Well said.
Well done.
That was the perfect example from both teams right there. They were moving the ball around, moving it out wide, creating holes, and Old school pickleball used to be stay in that dink rally, dink, 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 and then somebody made a mistake. Now it's moving the ball around a lot more, forcing that ball to pop up, or something that's elevated that you can speed up and finish the point with.
Another points.
Yeah, and I think Wilhelm and Welsh are doing a really good job not allowing Dawson and McGregor to really play the game they want to play. And that is coming at them very hard.
7-9-2.
And that's where the ball movement comes into it as well. If you're making your opponent move, especially a lot of people have problems with what we call bangers, and Dawson and McGregor are not bangers by any means, but a lot of people will try to hit with somebody that is more aggressive, where you need to slow that game down, you need to move them around, have them off balance to be able to counteract the power that's coming.
Game point here for Dawson and McGregor. McGregor can't return it. Second serve.
10-7-2.
Right down the middle. Good job from Jen Dawson. Really entertaining game one.
Yeah, great to watch. And then that winning point for game point there just showed what they had. All that power on display. You'll see it here. They get into their rhythm very quickly. They don't want to give them time to get up to that line and get into any kind of slow pace. Jennifer Dawson just keeps coming at them.
Yeah, and Dawson's a player where you have to anticipate that ball is going to come hard every single time.
Well, look at this. New Zing Zang ready-to-drink cocktails. The legendary taste of America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Crafted with 7 vegetable juices, bold spices, Worcestershire, and vodka. The legendary Zing Zang Margarita. All-natural key lime, grapefruit, 100% blue agave, tequila included. Introducing new Zing Zang ready-to-drink cocktails. Legendary drinks. Ready to enjoy anywhere. Are you ready?
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddle Tech, let's go again.
Catcher's gear still missing? I checked lost and found, but only found Jared. So how we gonna fix this?
Oh, man, you gotta go where they get sports.
Charles Barkley.
Dix.com.
Dix.com, but we need it today.
Oh, they got curbside pickup. Be ready in under an hour.
Man, I got it right here. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. That's not it.
That's my glam bag for the money maker. I bedazzle that myself. Every search starts at Dix.
Time in. 0-0-2.
So 11-7 after game one in favor of Dawson and McGregor. Here's game two from Naples on Pickleball Channel.
Yeah, we're going to see much more of McGregor and Dawson speeding this game up. I don't think McGregor wants to allow these points to get too long. We're definitely seeing her favor her hip right here, and it plays into Dawson and McGregor's game to speed those balls up early.
0-1-1. Second server.
Dawson has excellent
0, 1, 2.
court coverage and anticipation, stepping in and covering the middle of the court right there for McGregor as she went back for the lob.
Side out.
Oh, that backhand has got some bite, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does, and it doesn't matter which angle it's coming from. At you up high, in the middle, heck, down on the ground.
Yeah, she can, like we said before, she can take those balls from her toes and really come up and generate some power and some spin with that two-hander.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's the backhand or a forehand. Jennifer Dawson can really rip the ball, and she has the ability to do it when the ball is below the net, making her a huge threat.
Oh, McGregor finds the open court. Guys, watching Jen Dawson play, if I were to take two ladies, she'd be one. Just incredible to watch. The other, Simone Jardim, when it comes to the perfect pickleball player. Speeding up, slowing down, playing fast, playing hard.
And they have very, very similar game styles and play styles as well. The two-handed backhand, the rolls with the forehand and the backhand, movement, court coverage. So yeah, you're almost looking at an identical player within Jen Dawson and Simone Jardim.
Hannah Johns in attendance, younger sister of Ben Johns. We're going to see Ben over the next few days here in Naples.
We saw him here on Sunday, repeating as the champion as for the men's pro singles. So he did play the split age last year, at least in the men's, but he didn't play that this year. So we look forward to seeing him back on the court for men's doubles and mixed doubles.
And I was talking about perfect players on the women's side. You talked about players on the men's side. He's obviously probably the first that is mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, a Triple Crown winner. I mean, arguably in his very young age of 22, I mean, you know, considered the greatest of all time, but there's a lot of time still to go.
How long can he stay on top of that mountain? Oh, another break there for Dawson.
Friendly net roll. Had enough spin on it that it just kind of sat on the net, on top of the net for a little while.
Yeah, and Kimmy McGregor's still moving very, very, very well. It may be causing her a lot of pain to do it, but when she's in a point or in a rally or exchange, that pain doesn't look to be showing.
The power of adrenaline. But yeah, definitely one thing McGregor and Dawson do extremely well is court coverage. They're always in the right spot. They understand the movement. They're lining themselves up with the ball.
Been playing together a long time and longtime friends as well.
See the chemistry coming through here.
Wilshire and Wilhelm, you know, they got a lot of great chemistry and have a lot of great achievements behind them as well.
7-0-1.
This is a tough match.
Second server.
I almost see the fire in Welsh's eyes right now after that little exchange. She's not one to give up.
No, she's a competitor, and I know she's sitting here thinking, come on, right? This can't be 0-7.
That's out just wide.
Side out.
Side out, opportunity to get their first point.
0-7-1.
Oh, beauty by McGregor.
Yeah, excellent movement by McGregor. And I mean, they're very, very tough to play. They just don't make many mistakes. And I mean, mentally, they're super, super sharp as well.
And I talked about before with McGregor's stroke, she's much more compact than Dawson. Dawson generates the power, and McGregor's just got the smoothness within her strokes that she can put the ball wherever she wants to, but definitely has the power herself.
That's just wide, and that is the first point here for Welsher and Wilhelm. Melissa, we know these players, the majority of them in their 50s. It's when the senior career starts. Is there an age where things start to slow down from that standpoint as far as just being ultra competitive on this stage?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, the slow down, heck, that starts a lot earlier than 50. But no, I don't think so. I mean, these ladies for their age group, I mean, playing very fast paced game, kind of like we were talking about earlier. You know, when you get four people on the court that have equal caliber and equal skill, you're going to have a very high level of pickleball. And same here with these senior pros.
You see McGregor, bad hip and all, chasing it down. Crowd loves the effort.
Yeah, and I was not expecting her to get to that ball.
But it was right on cue for the topic that Drew teed up, right? It's like, you know, assuming that's the type of slowdown you were talking about, there wasn't anything slow there.
9-1-1.
I think that the harder part is as you start to become more experienced in age, is that your brain still wants to do things and the body just isn't able to do what the brain tells it to do. And so you get into this point of frustration. But if you come to the realization and the understanding that you have to change, sometimes you just have to change your mental aspect of it and stay within a skill set rather than what I could do when I was 20 that now I'm in my 50s or later. Then that competitive nature and the frustration doesn't take over.
Welsher, little tap. McGregor gets there again. That's going to do it. Dawson and McGregor, 11-7, 11-1 convincingly. That was impressive.
Yeah, it was really impressive. I mean, they just weren't making any mistakes at all. Every piece of their game was working. The fast game, the slow game, their defensive game, constructing points. They just put on a clinic here today.
Yeah, definitely like the other matches that we saw earlier that the score was a little bit lopsided. They just never let go of the pressure on this one.
More women's senior pro doubles coming up in a minute.
My hard seltzering wasn't always secure. I don't like tall, slim cans in my hand. That's not me anymore.
If you're sick of basic seltzers with artificial aftertaste, join a growing community that's taking back control of their seltzering.
Fruit Smash changed my life. Thank you, Fruit Smash.
Simone's been working on and has talked about is when you go out there, don't worry about losing, but go out and go for it. And so tough to do against players like Kovalev and Wright, but they seem a little bit tentative here and reactive.
Wright hit the overhead, returned by Jardim. Oh, what a great dig there by Simone.
And then we're seeing a battle here.
Matt Wright off the net cord.
Oh, wow.
How about that reaction?
And wow, is this crowd excited. I see Simone signs over in the VIP area. That was just fantastic.
That was a terrific exchange.
That's as good as pickleball gets right there. And what a treat to be able to do this here in this venue on this night.
Time to celebrate a return to all things incredible. The competition you can only find at the Minto US Open Pickleball Championships. The blue skies and white sand beaches that restore your soul. The luxurious surroundings and award-winning restaurants that rejuvenate your spirit. So join us for world-class pickleball action and stay for everything else. When it's time for championship pickleball where everyone wins, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddletech, let's go again.
Match point, it's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com. Margaritaville. It's not just a state of mind. Now it's a place to live. Introducing Latitude Margaritaville. New homes in 55 and better communities where you can live the Margaritaville lifestyle every day. Find your new home at latitudemargaritaville.com.
Women's senior pro doubles continues. Bagby and Bellamy getting set to face Jenny Hubbard and Shelly Marr. Here on Pickleball Channel, Zing Zang Championship Court in Naples. Beth Bellamy, Centerville, Ohio, represented. She's already been on this court once today, once a #1 junior tennis player in the world. Natalie Bagby has played outstanding here in Naples. This is just her first Minto US Open Pickleball Championship. Speaking of first, the team on the other side, Melissa, with Jenny Hubbard and Shelly Marr, they'll play in their first championship as well here on center stage.
Yeah, they have played here the last 3 years, but they did so as amateurs. So this is their first time to be playing the Senior Women Pro Doubles here at the Minto US Open Pickleball Championships. Another thing about Beth Bellamy as well is she was also the #1 college recruit back in 1982. So she is very accomplished on the tennis circuit, so it's a pleasure to have her in the game, and she's just a delight as well. Just really enjoy talking to Beth, and she's gotten her pickleball groove and a pickleball bug. She's competing all over the country and doing so very successfully.
Yeah, I met Beth probably 15 years ago when we worked for her husband Steve, and at the time Steve and Beth owned the tennis channel, and I did not think that they would veer away from the game of tennis, but Beth is definitely already started to make a name for herself in pickleball and jumped in with both feet.
You know, guys, I've got a few friends who were former collegiate tennis players, and I tell them all about pickleball, and it's kind of like they're on the fence, Chad, that they're hesitant to make that jump. They almost feel like they're betraying their past just a little bit.
I think that's what it is. You know, a lot of the tennis players feel like they're giving up on their first passion, and a lot of people try to do both at the same time and then end up giving in to pickleball.
Underway here.
Side out.
So what would you tell those athletes, Chad, that are pondering it, that are on the fence?
If you don't want to become addicted, don't try it.
That's what I call good peer pressure.
It's funny. You start playing pickleball and it's just so much fun, and I think the people make it fun as well, and that's what you get addicted to. But like we talked about before, it's when you're coming from another career. Excellent overhead by Bagby getting up. Looked at her paddle a little bit. I think she might have shanked it on the edge, but it worked out well in the end.
1-0-2.
But yeah, when you're coming from a different background, you've spent so much time doing that. Pickleball is new, and you kind of delve deeper into it and trying to figure out the nuances of the game. That's what makes it fun and exciting.
When we talk about these ladies playing in their first pro doubles event, you know, they took out the #4 seed this morning in 3, 11-1, 10-12, 11-4. They're the 13 seed.
3-0-2.
And then the #12 seed took out the #5 seed this morning, 11-3, 5-11, 11-3. And so then the 12 and 13 seed played, and the 13 seed moved on here at 11-7, 11-0.
And Hubbard and Mare can definitely be a team that's going to cause some upsets. I watched a little bit of their play earlier, and Jenny's just so consistent.
4-0-2.
And can pretty much put a ball back down wherever she wants to. And then you got Mare that's obviously the lefty factor in there, but she's got some power behind that swing.
Wow. Nice.
And the crowd here really enjoying that. And what a fantastic crowd that we have. And we've had all afternoon long and all week long. As you go around the park, there's got to be a record number of spectators out there all around all 59 other courts here at the U.S. Open.
For folks, Melissa, that want to get a seat, not just throughout the week, but maybe have a shot on Saturday, what advice do you give them? Let's take one more look at the point.
Yeah, and that's that power that I was talking about from Shelley Mare. She's got on top of that ball and just ripped down on it.
good job keeping it
Second
alive.
server.
Drew, to answer your question, you're going to need to look for a scalper or somebody. There is a board outside where the tickets are sold where people can put up their
052.
tickets if they bought them and now can't use them, so other people could buy them. But it is a sold-out crowd, and this place will be packed.
Your answer was better than mine. I would have just said good luck.
Or somehow pose as a sportscaster, right, Chad?
Absolutely.
152.
Get yourself a press pass.
Anybody can get an all-access pass that way.
For Saturday night. I've been doing it a long time, my friend.
So unfortunately, right there, Hubbard had a good opportunity to put a good swing on that ball, but her feet were still moving and caught it just a little late.
Point.
Bagby and Bellamy have continued the pressure from their previous match. They're doing an excellent job of speeding the ball up. We're seeing Mara and Hubbard switch out of the stack here, try to change things up. Yeah, that's an excellent ball from Jenny Hubbard to go back behind Bellamy. She's creeping into the middle. And a lot of the times when you go behind somebody, the softer ball is better, because if you try to attack that ball, they're only one step.
Point.
Nice attempt at a lob, but just sailed long.
Yeah, and it's hard to judge this one. I've seen the flags in here blowing in two different directions.
Timeout call by the receiving team. 1 minute.
So
The score
we
is
definitely
7-1-2.
getting that swirl factor that we typically see in championship court.
Let's see how we got here to this point. Sizing up the brackets. This is the semifinal, the chance to take on Dawson and McGregor in the championship, and we'll also battle for third place as well.
Yeah, and we'll get to see all of those here later this afternoon. Whoever wins here, moving on to gold. We also will play against Dawson and McGregor, who won here just the match before.
Certainly a long road to a championship. Guys, what amazes me is the stamina that these athletes have. Of course, not just playing in one great match to win a championship. You got to outlast everybody else, and the endurance factor in this game of pickleball continues to test everybody.
Yeah, it sure does. Not only physically, Drew, but mentally. I mean, it's, we're coming out of spring, trying to come into summer. The heat is kicked up. It's certainly always hotter for those down here in Southwest Florida.
We're definitely seeing a lot more players, both on the pro and senior pro side, training a lot more, conditioning, drilling, where it used to be, I'm going to work all week and then go and play in a tournament.
Nice shot there by Jenny Hubbard.
And just a lot more focus on, I think, nutrition and hydration, and people coming into the sport with a real focus on that as well.
1-7-1.
And a lot of people may not realize you can't start hydrating the day up. Right? That has to start days in advance when you're coming into a tournament.
Point. Well done by Hubbard.
Nice couple of points there by Hubbard. She showed some aggression in the point before, taking a ball early, driving it into the body, and coming in hard behind it. And then that one, Shelley setting her up for a nice forehand roll back through the hole.
Second server.
Well, I think Hubbard wants that one back. talking to herself there that she just snapped the wrist a little too much.
3-7-2.
And that's a common cause for a miss is too much wrist movement.
Point.
Nice job working the kitchen line there by Shelly Mayer. Mayer, as you see her right there, she is also very avid lacrosse player as well. Just a tremendous all-around athlete. It's another sport that has really exploded in this country over the past 10 to 20 years. Talk about lacrosse, it's starting to make its way more and more into collegiate sports. Melissa, that could be the next step for this great game of pickleball.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, we were just down in Austin, Texas in March. So Texas A&M and TCU, they have inter-college play. You've got inter-club play, also inside some colleges. So, yeah, there's no doubt that this will become a college sport. How long that takes, yet to be known, and certainly well expected to be an Olympic sport in the future as well.
So we saw a error by Mayer right there, where she just missed into the net, and she knows that she was trying to cut that a little too fine, keep it too close to the net. In order to minimize some of those areas, or some of those errors, I should say, as this point progresses.
Well played.
We want to tend to think more about height above the net, and if we're trying to be so fine, natural habit is we're always going to make a mistake. So if we're perfect, we're a couple of inches above the net, but if we're off, we're in the net, or we're a decent ball. If we look with a little bit more room above the net, even when we make a mistake, we clear the net, and if it's a bad mistake, then yes, it's going to float, but we stay in it. Ooh, very nice around the post.
Very nice. That was certainly not easy to do, and she had to get a backhand angle on that. Don't know if we're going to get to see it again, but
yeah, some of the time,
9-4-2.
Sometimes it's easier to hit that backhand around the post, especially with a sharper angle that way, because that ball is in front of you. You wait, and you're able to bring it back across the body into the court.
How about that defense? Oh, it goes awry just when she thought she had it under control. And it's now 10-4 for game point.
10-4-2.
Bagby and Bellamy trying to have a showdown here with Dawson and McGregor as they await the winner of this match. And there it is from Beth Bellamy.
Bagby, Bellamy.
So it's Bagby and Bellamy winning game one.
yeah, and you know, so this was so far a game that we would expect to see at this point. We'll see if we can see a different turnaround, but you know, there's some experience that these ladies are gaining in Mayer and Hubbard, playing against two very seasoned players on the pro circuit today.
Game one in the books. Game two coming up right after this. Pickleball Channel brings you the Open.
Margaritaville. It's not just a state of mind. Now it's a place to live. Introducing Latitude Margaritaville. New homes in 55 and better communities where you can live the Margaritaville lifestyle every day. Find your new home at latitudemargaritaville.com.
Time to celebrate a return to all things incredible. The competition you can only find at the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. The blue skies and white sand beaches that restore your soul. The luxurious surroundings and award-winning restaurants that rejuvenate your spirit. So join us for world-class pickleball action and stay for everything else. When it's time for championship pickleball where everyone wins, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
Working out doesn't have to be this complicated. That's why I make walking my workout with Skechers' new Workout Walker. They're loaded with performance and comfort technology, including a carbon-infused plate to add more spring to your step. They're ready for your ultimate walking workout. Just put them on and walk. You guys tired already? I'm still walking. Try Skechers' new Workout Walker. It'd be a lot easier if he just rolled.
Match point, it's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
Game 2, time in, 0-0-2.
So Hubbard and Mayer trying to come back here. Bagby and Bellamy to serve. Game number 2. Semifinals, senior women. And that's how you come out there. Point for Natalie Bagby.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Bagby and Bellamy continue to apply the pressure. They've done an excellent job of speeding that ball up into the body of Hubbard and keeping Shirley Mayer off balance. Hubbard telling herself just to, Bagby telling herself to just calm down there. She got a little excited, took a big swing at that ball.
0-1-1. Point.
Imperative here for Hubbard and Mayer to get off to a good start here in game 2.
Second server.
Cannot have many of those.
1-1-2. Point.
That was a well-timed offensive lob by Shirley Mayer. Couple of balls, couple of aggressive balls earlier, and then Mayer changing the pace by throwing up that deep lob cross court, and Bagby just not moving back fast enough and trying to take that out of the air.
Side out.
Bagby continues to be in attack mode.
I like Shirley Mayer speeding it up a little bit more there and being aggressive. She kind of just rushed through it a little bit though.
So a little hesitation there before they work it out. And
No.
now
Point.
And Bagby, I mean, she's got a quick paddle, Chad. I mean, she's firing and
2-2-1.
blocking. It seems like all in one motion.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's one of the adjustments that Bagby and Bellamy made after the last match. I'm seeing some shorter swings, a little bit more compact swing, not trying to go for as much, and it's definitely paying off with their hands being faster.
2-2-2. Side out.
Bellamy removing something from the court.
2-2-1.
That was very well set up right there. I was anticipating that Hubbard would try to speed a ball up on that second time that Bagby went to her backhand, and Bellamy just wasn't expecting it, and then Mayer was there to finish it off. Mayer getting a little bit excited there again, a little bit frustrated with herself, catching that ball just a fraction late, and when that ball is coming angled there and we catch it late behind the body, it's going to open up that angle back cross court a little too much, which is what we saw, and it pushed the ball out wide. In order to keep that ball in the court, and we see it again, in order to keep that ball in the court, the paddle has to be much further out in front of the body. Because that angle is coming into the body and it just lays the paddle back, it ends up pushing it back out cross court.
Just wide. And you mentioned, Melissa, the first time for Hubbard and Mayer on Zing Zang Championship Court here today. Is it just knowing how to weather the storm of runs instead of giving away 5 points, you give away maybe 1 or 2, you make the adjustment quicker? What is it?
Yeah, I think you do. You find a way to weather the storm, play consistent, try to make few errors. Kind of don't worry about this big crowd that's surrounding you.
All the TV cameras as
well.
well.
All the TV cameras as well. And you just play your game, knowing that you're here for a reason.
3, 2, 1.
That mental piece, I think, is really important as well. Believe.
Second server.
Hubbard tried to rush
3,
that
2,
third
2.
shot drive. Probably a little too deep and a little too low to try that drive. Again, trying it. And with those lower, deeper balls, it is much
2,
more
3,
difficult
1.
to get a good drive, especially if we're late to the contact point.
Second server. Two, 3, 2.
So we're kind of playing a little bit of back and forth of errors for these last couple of points. The atmosphere feels like
3,
it's
2,
kind of
1.
changed a little bit. The tempo's changed a little bit.
Second server.
Yeah, and I'm not feeling from Bellamy and Bagby kind
3,
of
2,
putting
2.
that, pedal to the metal and
No.
keeping that momentum they had from game 1 going.
Side out.
Miscue there.
Yeah, they're definitely not as aggressive as they were in game 1. Got away with
2, 3, 1.
miscommunication between Mayer and Hubbard on that ball, but I would have anticipated that they were going to come out aggressive and make Hubbard and Mayer change their game plan, but
3,
they ended
3,
up
1.
doing it themselves and made this one a lot closer.
Just tied it at 3. Well done by Beth Bellamy. And now Bagby and Bellamy have regained the lead 4-3. Winner of this
4-3-1.
match joins McGregor and Dawson for a championship. Oh,
Second server.
perfectly placed by Mayer.
Yeah, and Mayer held that ball, well, made it look like she was going to go back cross court
Yes.
to Bellamy.
4-3-2.
And held it for a long time before she changed direction, and we saw the split between Bellamy and Bagby.
Side out. Three, 4, 1.
Oh, a little
Second
short for
server.
Mayer. She's already had one of those successful today.
Yeah, she didn't quite get enough paddle on it. And didn't quite get the paddle
3, 4, 2.
outside of the ball to try to create that angle coming back into the court. That's a little bit more of the
Side out.
aggression that we saw from Bagby and Bellamy in game one. But still, a lot of these balls are hovering around the middle of the court.
4-3-1.
It's almost like the atmosphere is switched to neither team wants to make a mistake, so they're playing a little bit safer.
And a put away there. I think Beth Bellamy heard you there, Chad.
Yeah, and that was an excellent ball that set up Bellamy for the finish. Hubbard kind of got that ball behind and ended up popping it up.
Five, 3-2. Point.
Another point, 6-3. Starting to pull away here, Bagby and Bellamy.
Yeah, and that was the downside of having two backhands in the middle. Hubbard recognized that, sped that ball up through the middle, and we had a clash of paddles.
Got to think also here, if Bagby and Bellamy get another point, have to be thinking timeout.
Yeah, definitely. Usually a good rule of thumb for a timeout is if your opponents go on a 3 or a 4 point run, you need to do something to try to slow it down, reset the game, reset the run.
Don't see it happening right here, Chad, and maybe that's a little part of that inexperience here on this stage.
You are, yes. Correct. Correct.
Well, and sometimes too, teams are, they don't want to take a timeout because it,
7-3-2.
you may see it as a weakness, like, hey, I need a breather. I need to, you want to try to just get that serve back by winning points. But like we said, that timeout is good to disrupt the rhythm that the other team has gotten into.
Point.
Lead continues to mount. It's 8-3 here. Closing in are Bagby and Bellamy on a berth in the championship.
8-3-2.
As the great Dick Vitale usually says, get a TO, baby.
Yeah, I definitely think that
9-3-2.
Mayer and Hubbard need to get a timeout in here.
Yeah, that was a great job. Bellamy and Bagby doing a great job just moving the ball around.
Yeah, and that's where those holes open up, and you start putting the pressure on. You feel like somebody's isolated or they're getting pushed into a corner, and it's really hard to get out of. And now we've gone on a 8-point run for match point.
Default. Football.
Foot fault going to be called, and that will do it. Bagby and Bellamy, what a run to end this match, and they win 11-4, 11-3.
Yeah, and that's a tough way to lose a match right there, to be called on a foot fault. And we see a couple of that may be the difference in this one is a few too many errors from Hubbard and Mayer. But Bagby and Bellamy definitely kept the pressure on. And it's also on that last 9-point run, they then brought the speed again.
Working out doesn't have to be this complicated. That's why I make walking my workout with Skechers' new Workout Walker. They're loaded with performance and comfort technology, including a carbon-infused plate to add more spring to your step. They're ready for your ultimate walking workout. Just put them on and walk. You guys tired already? I'm still walking. Try Skechers' new Workout Walker. It'd be a lot easier if you just rolled.
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddle Tech. Let's go again.
Time to celebrate a return to all things incredible. The competition you can only find at the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. The blue skies and white sand beaches that restore your soul. The luxurious surroundings and award-winning restaurants that rejuvenate your spirit. So join us for world-class pickleball action and stay for everything else. When it's time for championship pickleball where everyone wins, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
When you think of pickleball greatness, think no further than the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville. Over 2,800 players from all over the world have gathered in beautiful Naples, Florida this week to fight for their place in pickleball history as one of the champions of this monumental tournament. Day one was all about singles, filled with new competitors and new champions. Catherine Parenteau claimed gold, while Ben Johns defended his title in pro singles. Who will join their ranks and take home a victory? As today, doubles action takes over the course. It's time to find out at the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships.
Okay, I have all your stuff for the tournament. Where's your other cleat? I don't know. Oscar has it. Oscar! We gonna need new ones.
Hold up. What site you on?
Who's the old guy? Charles Barkley?
You need to go to Dix.com. They got all the sports.
Dix.com. I didn't think of them.
And they have curbside pickup.
Great. We can grab them on the way. I like your dog.
Oh, that's Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley?
Every search starts at Dix.
My hard seltzering wasn't always secure. I don't like tall, slim cans in my hand. That's not me anymore.
If you're sick of basic seltzers with artificial aftertaste, join a growing community that's taking back control of their seltzering.
Fruit Smash changed my life. Thank you, Fruit Smash.
You don't get the moments everyone talks about without the moments no one sees. Early morning practice, late night drills, running it over and over. You don't get the crowd without the quiet. Everyone sees the glory, the medal, the podium, but every winning shot starts right here. Paddle Tech. Let's go again.
My hard seltzering wasn't always secure. I don't like tall, slim cans in my hand. That's not me anymore.
If you're sick of basic seltzers with artificial aftertaste, join a growing community that's taking back control of their seltzering.
Fruit Smash changed my life. Thank you, Fruit Smash.
So ready for more women's senior pro doubles. Tarn and LeBlanc take on Kargis and her partner, Odnapit. This is a race to 15 here on Zing Zang Championship Court.
That's right, and at the U.S. Open, it's a consolation format, so once you lose, the best you can do is bronze. So these ladies do have an opportunity to get to the bronze medal match, which will be live streamed here later tonight.
Take a look at Teresa Tarn right there. Odnapit also on your screen. Teresa out of the greater Lansing, Michigan area. Chad, a player you're very familiar with.
Yeah, I actually coached her son when I ran a baseball academy up in Lansing, Michigan. Donovan Tan. And then she picked up pickleball like a lot of people did in Michigan, where we started as well.
She's been playing for a while, Chad?
About 4 years now.
And she certainly seems to have some fans in the house.
Yeah, she's they recently made a move down here to Florida, and then newer to the Senior Pro Tour. Got a little excited, overreach, and again, when we overreach for that ball and get too extended, the only thing we have left to hit that ball with is the wrist, and if we start flicking that wrist, the ball's going to fly high and out like it did right there for Teresa Tan.
LeBlanc on the run, keeps it in play. Now a reset. Oh, well played. Tag though. Tarn could not get out of the way.
And Tarn and LeBlanc have had a good day. They were ones I was mentioning earlier that took out the #5 seed, and Gigi Fernandez, tennis Hall of Famer, and Kim Kestner going in 3-11-5, 5-11, 11-3. And then they lost to Hubbard Mayer, who we just saw on the court just prior to this match, and now they're battling their way through the consolation.
Suzanne LeBlanc. Good opportunity here on center stage of the pickleball world. And that is in. Suzanne has a great story, Melissa. She is a breast cancer survivor. Had really serious breast cancer 4 years ago, multiple surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation. Pickleball was part of what kept her going, and she continues to say every day is a blessing. Just a great story.
Yeah, that is a great story, and probably just goes to show what kind of competitor she is off the court as well. And it's good to see her here on the Zing Zang Championship court. I have a feeling we're going to see a pretty good battle in this match.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of early unforced errors, a couple of balls missed long, a couple of balls into the net, but Tan and LeBlanc picking up their first point there. An excellent job going back behind on up it by LeBlanc.
Wow. I think there was some miscommunication. They were going to switch?
Yeah, I saw the miscommunication happening. On up it, I don't think she put a signal behind her back. It was just anticipated, and I never saw that move come from her.
Oh. Teresa Tarn.
Yeah,
nicely done.
with some authority, right?
Oh,
She
yeah.
definitely had some pep in her step after that. Looking really confident out there.
It's one thing to win on the amateur stage, Melissa. You come up to the pro ranks, a little bit of a different ball game, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the play just is elevated that much more. The atmosphere, the energy, and the expectations too.